You also touched a little bit on portions because we don't want our dogs to become hairy Ottomans. And too much weight puts stress on the joints, opens up, all different diseases. Portions, any tip on portions in regards to longevity?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me start that comment by saying there is a difference between your dog wants to eat and your dog needs to eat. It certainly is a difference for me. I think everybody enjoys eating as an activity, but that doesn't really necessarily mean that that's what your body needs. So, maintaining an optimal body weight is really important from a longevity perspective. Excess calories, excess body weight leads to inflammation, insulin resistance, all kinds of problems down the road. So we really want to take every effort to make sure that our pets are maintaining a healthy weight. And there's a number of ways to do that. Some of it's just making sure that you don't overfeed them. And part of that is a willpower issue on our part. Just because your dog's giving you those puppy dog eyes does not mean that he needs to eat. And if you get your dog used to eating snacks that are healthy for him or her, for example, like carrots, broccoli, something like that, then you can feed him treats all day long and it doesn't really matter. If we feed
my little dog Emma, my Gemma, she is WTM for Miss M, which is watermelon, and she also likes cucumbers.
Oh yeah, my dogs love cucumbers. I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, the dogs will sit up and beg for cucumbers. So these are things that you can feed your pets and it's fine. Getting back to the discussion of earlier, if you're feeding your pet a fresh food diet, another thing that you're doing is you're dramatically reducing their carbohydrate load compared to kibble. And as I think most people know, if you cut carbs out of your diet and you have weight to lose, you're probably losing weight. And that's another thing that we can do for these guys. And really just setting up patterns with your dog. If you just set up a pattern of this is when you eat and that's that, then that's the lifestyle that your dog will become used to. If your dog has become accustomed to you feeding them treats all day long, then that's what they're going to expect.
Yeah, true.
So, our dogs live in the world that we set up for them. It's amazing how many people allow themselves to be trained by their dog. It's a fascinating. It's a fascinating thing.
They have invisible watches. Yeah, they have invisible watches. They know when it's mealtime.
Yeah, arguably dogs are better at training people than we are at training them.
Yeah, I would say. So let's briefly touch upon exercise because there's a lot of options, indoor, outdoor. And I want to talk about the good old dogs because they're not trying to be dock divers or agility sprinters. What are some things people can do for older dogs to get them up and moving?
Yeah, just like a person who may not be in very good physical condition, these are things that you have to do slowly. So if you have a dog that has some, maybe some mobility issues, or maybe they're just a little overweight or out of shape, you got to start slowly. Just take them out for a real short walk. You can take them out for multiple short walks per day, so they're not going to get as tired. One of the things that we often tell people in my office, we do a lot of physical therapy and deal with a lot of pets that have mobility issues is, what we tell people is however long you're taking your dog for a walk, you want them out for a walk so they get enough exercise, but they're not sore afterwards. And try and increase the length of their walk by 5 minutes each week.
Okay, good.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about it, in 4 weeks, you've increased your daily walk time by 20 minutes. So it adds up, but that's a good way to very, very slowly work your dog into a greater exercise program without them potentially getting injured. And if your dog has real issues beyond that, it may be that doing some exercises in water can be helpful. Mm-hmm. If you happen to have a canine rehab facility where you live, that's a great way to help recondition your dog by putting them either in a pool or an underwater treadmill. There's a lot of things that you can do. What you don't want to do, and this is the fatal pitfall for us as people, is you over-exercise, you get hurt, and then you can't do anything. So you don't want to do that with your dog, is let them go out and run around and overdo it, and then they hurt, and then you can't exercise them, and you get into this cycle where you just never get anywhere.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Four-Legged Life.
Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.
Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.